Spore. Spore.
I remember it's
Yes,
my French teacher brought that.
Spore was made by Will Wright, who was the guy who made Sims and SimCity. Spore starts you off at the angstrom level where you are a single cell. And you eat other cells and you fight other cells, you become a multicellular organism, you then become a whole species, you then get up onto land, you then take over the whole planet, and then you realize, wow, this is a big game, because we're just beginning. Because then you get space travel technology, then you start going to other planets and fighting other planets and taking them over, and then you're taking over the whole universe. And you've seen all of this, starting from the cell all the way up, and you can zoom in all the way down to the cell level if you want. There's a lot to do with SoHo. Okay, we're up to 2009. This is the year that Arkham Asylum came out. A wonderful game. Also, Flower, where Batman just picks a flower. The year that Batman braids his hair. Okay. But the game of the year for 2009, Angry Birds.
Angry Birds!
Most people probably have Angry Birds on their smartphone right now. Angry Birds has sold like 350 million copies. It's a very, very simple game, but it's extremely fun, and it's the new type of casual. This is why Nintendo is in trouble, why Nintendo's stock price has been going down for 2 years straight. Because anyone walking around with a smartphone in their pocket is walking around with a mobile gaming device, if they know it or not. And if you want to buy a game, it's $1. You can pay up to $5, but you can find games for free. You can find games for $1. And all of a sudden, Nintendo, who's used to charging $200 for a console and $50 a game, it's like, wait a minute. You're basically getting that for free, and then the games are $1 each. We don't like that pricing system. That's going to put all of video gaming out of business. And we're still dealing with that. In 5 years, ask me how Nintendo solved it, because I don't know, and Nintendo doesn't know either. Okay, we're up to 2010. This is the year that NBA Live, believe it or not, was canceled because they found a way to screw up a yearly game. The year of Heavy Rain and Alan Wake, 2 games that tried to make like a drama. Okay, the year of Guitar Hero was canceled because they made too many bad copies of Guitar Hero. The game of the year for 2010, though, is Red Dead Redemption. Wow. Red Dead takes the sandbox idea, and originally people joked that it was just Grand Theft Horse because it's a Western. But your character has done some bad things to John Marston, and he doesn't want to do bad things anymore. Here is the full circle of gaming. You can do bad things in this game. You can also do good things, but almost everyone who plays chooses to do the good thing. You are given a true moral choice, and you make the moral choice. This is something that can only happen in video games. This is a work of art. They're teaching you morality. You are teaching yourself morality. Okay, we're up to 2011. I used to ask people at this point what games they were playing, what do you think the game of the year for 2011 is, but I just got tired of people yelling Skyrim back to me. So, the game of the year is Skyrim. There's so much stuff to do in Skyrim. I was on a podcast recently, Neil deGrasse Tyson's podcast, and I was explaining that one of the things that people did in this game was they bought 2,500 wheels of cheese. They then went to the top of a mountain, which was covered in snow, and then they dropped all 2,500 wheels of cheese because they wanted to see how the game would handle the physics of 2,500 individual avalanches that were each cheese wheels. And it handled it wonderfully. So the guy drops off all the cheese wheels and starts running down. He's seeing the cheese go all over the place. And then Neil stopped me because he didn't understand I was talking about something that happened in game. He thought that this was a Skyrim fan who bought cheese and climbed to the top of the mountain and then dropped cheese in tribute of the game. And I needed to explain, no, it happened in game. It's like, well, why? I don't know why you would drop 2,500 wheels of cheese, but it's something you can do in Skyrim. You can do anything in Skyrim. Okay, that brings us to 2012. Before the year is out, a movie called Wreck-It Ralph is coming out, which looks amazing. It's basically taking the bad guy from a Donkey Kong style game and having him decide he doesn't want to be a bad guy in a video game. So he's going to go to other games to see what's popular. But now is when I'm actually going to ask you, what games are you playing? What's the best game you've played this year?
Temple Run. Quick question. If we could retrograde for a minute.
Yeah?
Where did asteroids fit in all this? Because asteroids was one of my favorites, and I thought that was pretty groundbreaking at the time.
It was, but I couldn't fit everything in, every great game.
I understand.
But Asteroids came out in 1980.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
12 games here, Assassin's Creed 3.
1 minute. Okay. What's up?
There was I heard from a video that one of the guys who worked for Atari also helped make Chuck E. Cheese back in the day to promote games also. Is that true?
Yes. Nolan Bushnell, the man who created Atari, basically got a huge amount of money when Warner bought him, and he decided, you know what? The future of video games is a talking rat. So he made Chuck E. Cheese. And he truly thought that the future of the world was going to be seeing a talking rat singing while you eat crap pizza and play video games. The thing was, I cannot emphasize this enough, the entire world believed him. There were like 5 copycats of Chuck E. Cheese that all were like singing rats. It wasn't just copying the idea, it was copying a singing rat too. And then one by one, they all fell down.
Smile America with Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, but they're Chuck E. Cheese is still around, but it's a shadow of its former self. And he's basically Poochie. Yeah.
Okay, is it not true that strategy titles also figured heavily into the history of video games, a genre I think might have been overlooked, which included groundbreaking titles such as Civ, Civ 2, Office Centauri?
Yes. Those are definitely huge games, but they're mostly console games. Or sorry, they're mostly PC games. I focus more on the console side of things because those are the ones that sold more. But I wish there was a place to put in strategy games. But I couldn't mention everything. I tried to pick the 40 most important, but someone's favorite is going to be left out from everyone. Yes?
When did like horror genre video games like Amnesia and stuff?
The first real horror game was called Alone in the Dark. It was from 95 or so. It was a French game. And then a lot of that mechanisms was carried over into Resident Evil, which was the next year. That started the whole survival horror genre. Hey.
How was Ocarina of Time not the #1 game of this year when it was rated top game for a decade?
As great as Ocarina of Time is, I had mentioned Zelda. You don't mean me. You mean like another voting group, or do you mean me?
You didn't list it.
No, I didn't list it, but I listed the original Zelda. And I wish I could mention more than one Zelda, but I tried to limit myself to one game per franchise. Yes.
I'll have like breakdown discussions downstairs. If you want to go down to the dealer's room and maybe people want to talk to you down there, we can do that.
Okay, cool. We'll continue the discussion downstairs in the dealer's room. Thank you very much, everyone.
Hey, thanks again to Jeff Ryan and his history of the gaming world. Jeff has his books for sale and for signing, and to chat with you some more in the back corner there. And we'll take a little break. And what do people think? Do people want to see some anime after this in about 15 minutes until 6 o'clock, or do people want schmooze time?
Want what?
How many people